Hello there, and welcome to the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm your host, Karen Yankovich, and this week on the show, we are talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is high ticket offers. And really, what we're talking about is why I think high ticket offers is the answer to creating that transition from wherever you are now to wherever you're looking to be in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Sometimes you're leaving corporate, looking to build out a consulting business. Sometimes that transition is just a new income level, right? And so often we've got this feeling that we are, we have a little imposter syndrome. I've never did this before. So we underprice ourselves, or we think we need to sell these like $5 things. It is so not the answer, and it is what is keeping us stuck. So I'm excited today to be diving in with you with one of my favorite topics here. So we're going to talk a little bit about why I think this is so important. And of course, I'm going to give you lots of tips that you can implement as quickly as you like. Here's the thing. I get it. I've been there. I remember, I will say this. When I first started this, I'm going to say this version of my business, but it's really not even, it wasn't this, we weren't doing then what we're doing now. When I first started online marketing, let's say that, I still had a corporate job. So I was paying people to do some of the work, right? Like I wasn't able to do the work. I was running an agency and I needed to pay people to execute the work because I was working full time. So I would get the clients, I would do the strategy, and somebody would do the execution. And, always committed to having the best there is, right? So I was paying people well. So in order to do that, my prices started out pretty high. We were charging as an agency $1,000 per month per platform way back in like 2010 to manage social media because I knew that's what we needed to be able to do a good job. And it wasn't just so that I could have a ton of money in the bank. Of course I have a for-profit business, so there's nothing wrong with a lot of profit. But at the same time, it really wasn't as much about that as it was about being able to deliver at the level that I wanted to deliver at. So I kind of started this in this place where I had to create like kind of higher ticket offers in order to be able to just have any profit at all. But I also had many, many years where I was just saying, we need to, I got this $50 thing, this $100 thing. And, I think that is absolutely what keeps us down. So I want to let's talk a little bit about what I think a high ticket offer is. Okay. A high ticket offer is not overpricing something, right? It's creating a big, fat, juicy offer that allows you to be able to over deliver, but also brings in enough cash to you so that you can start to fund your next chapter. Okay. If you're doing this and you are, charging $50 or $100, it's going to take you forever to make that jump. It doesn't have to if you get this piece right. And that's why I'm here to help you with today. So an example is, I think I've talked about this on this show before, but it bears repeating. There was a networking event that I went to maybe about a year ago now. And I love this group. And it was all women. And as they went around the room, there was maybe 20 people in the room. And I was kind of on the tail end of the 20 people as they went around the room. And when they went around the room and they asked everybody, like, what is it that you want to get out of this networking meeting? You're at a networking meeting to grow your business. Okay. They asked everybody what you wanted to get out of this networking meeting. And every single person said, well, I'm a coach. I'd like a client. I'm a CPA. I'd like a client. I sell widgets. I'd love somebody that can buy a widget. And when it got to me, I was like, y'all are killing me because of course, if you sell beautiful widgets, you should sell a widget. But the mindset in this room is everybody's like, I need a sale of a widget. What if we flip that and look at that from a high ticket offer perspective and say, I sell widgets. I'm looking for somebody that wants to put my widgets in their chain of stores, right? So who do you know that might want to buy 10,000 of my widgets? That's what I want you to think about. It's not that I don't want you to sell widgets, right? So this is crucial for scaling your business. It is crucial for achieving your financial goals even faster, because you know how long it's going to take you to achieve your financial goals, to be the wealthy woman of influence that I want you to be, selling one pen at a time, right? One widget at a time. It's going to take forever. So we need to understand that there's a lot of different ways we can look at this high ticket offer thing. And it's not necessarily just about overcharging, right? So it's really about, like, I think about my client Claire, who I adored, Claire, and I remember this conversation so distinctly, and I talk about this still, even though it was a couple of years ago now. She was in our She's Linked Up accelerator program. And on the very first thing we do in that program is I get on the phone with you, and this is my favorite thing to do. And we just brainstorm what your high ticket offer is, right? So Claire's like, she left corporate. She wanted to do leadership consulting in corporations. So she's like, I know, I'm thinking it's about a $5,000 thing, but I'm thinking you're going to want it to be a $10,000 thing. So let's just call it a $10,000 thing. I'm like, all right, cool. So we spent the time creating her $10,000 thing. And at the end, I said to her, well, let me ask you something, Claire. What would happen if it was a $20,000 thing? And her eyes lit up and she went like, well, oh my gosh, then I could go on site once a month. I could do assessments for everybody in the department. Like, she started rattling off all these other things she'd be able to do if it was a $20,000 engagement instead of a $10,000 engagement. She didn't say, oh, well, then I got an extra $10,000 in profit, right? So this is what I want for you. I want you to think about, if you had a $5,000 or a $10,000 or a $20,000 offer, what amazing, beautiful things would you be able to do with an investment level like that? So where do we start, right? The first thing you have to do is you have to start to think about what your value is, right? What is the transformation that happens on the other side of the work people do with you? Okay. It's not about all the features and benefits. It's about the transformation that happens on the other side of the work people do with you. In my She's Linked Up accelerator program, the transformation is, we want you to know how to create, market, and land a contract for your high ticket offers using LinkedIn and PR strategies, right? Once you learn the system, we want you to do it once. Once you learn the system, now you can do it over and over and over and over and over. So it isn't about, and you get a weekly call and you get a call with Karen and there's group this and blah, blah. It's not about that. It's about you having the ability to create, to land contracts for your high ticket offers, right? So that's the first thing you have to do, is identify what's that value, what's that transformation you want people to have on the other side of the work they do with you. Then you have to take that and you have to kind of package your offer, right? And, I just had a call, Allie, if you're listening, I just had a call with a student in our program, and we were talking about packaging your offers. And we were saying how, the tide changes in the online marketing world, right? There was a time where big, long sales pages were a thing, right? And then there was a time that nobody even wanted to look at your sales page or your website. They just wanted to talk to you, or they just wanted to, get what you have. And I think what it's coming down to now, it's coming kind of back around to, having maybe a couple different offers, being able to customize them, but you want to create irresistible high ticket packages that speaks directly to the needs and the desires of the clients that are looking for the transformation that we just identified in the last couple sentences that I was telling you about, right? So you want to think about how you can package these. And I am a firm believer that everybody needs to have a VIP day offer. Everybody needs to have a VIP day offer. You'll be surprised. I think about Dee, who is on our team, but also has a business of her own. And she went through our program and I'm like, create a VIP day offer. And she had a call with somebody and she talked to them about, Dee was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. So we'll link to it in the show notes. We talked about it there. She, had a conversation with somebody, but because she didn't have this offer before, now she had this offer and she said, well, here's what I can do. And he said, okay, where do I sign? Right. So the beautiful thing about that is you can customize it. You don't need all kinds of lead magnets and tripwires and funnels and all that stuff. It's just a matter of having that offer, right? So as you're packaging your offer, make sure that you have something that's simple and powerful and profitable for you, right? People will also pay for fast results. I get if you're like a weight loss coach, you can't say, and we're going to meet on Saturday and by 4:00, you're going to have lost 25 pounds, right? I get that with some of the services that some of you guys that might be listening to have, you can't promise fast results, but there's probably a lot you could do to jumpstart. right? And that's what I want you to think about when you're packaging your offer. People will pay for fast results. If you say to them, listen, it's a 3-month package, but one option is it's a 3-month package for $5,000, right? But one option might be to front load it with like a VIP day. And what that does is it takes my $5,000 offer, it becomes $8,000. But what's going to happen is we're in one day, we're going to do what it normally takes us a full month to do. And then when we jump into the 3 months, we're already a month ahead. People will pay for that. We live in a world where everybody wants things to happen yesterday, right? So think about these kinds of things as you're packaging your offer. And then think about how you're going to price these things, right? How are you going to price this? You want to think about, a little bit of psychology of pricing, but it really is less about that and more about understanding that people value what they pay for, right? I can tell you that I have personal experience with the higher the price point, the better the customer. And what the lower price point things are the ones that give me the biggest freaking headache, So you want to make sure, like, don't be afraid to create $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 offers. Think about, like, I'd like you to kind of take your offer and whatever you think it is now, and again, do what I did with Claire, just double that. And then this is just an exercise, right? It's just you and maybe a whiteboard or some Post-it notes, right? Think about what you could offer if you doubled it. And that's the juicy offer I want you to do. I actually had this conversation, Liz, if you're listening, with somebody that I went to high school with that is a yoga teacher. And she was like, what could a high ticket offer be? And I'm like, you know what? Here's what a high ticket offer could be. There's a lot of women that are busy, and we're not getting any younger. And I can tell you, like, from my perspective, as I get older, I've got carpal tunnel, down dog hurts my wrists, and blah, blah, all the excuses, right? If you custom decide, if we're going to spend a day with me, create a couple of different sequences of yoga poses specifically designed for me that I could rotate through. Maybe also build in a massage or build in, some essential oil blends that you think I should use while I'm doing these poses. Help me create a schedule for this. Do something to hold me accountable for this, right? But spend a beautiful, juicy day with me to create this package. People will pay for that. Because they're not going to yoga classes because they feel intimidated. Even if they're not feeling intimidated, they just feel like, oh, everybody there can do more than I can do. I don't want to do it. It's just frustrating. So I don't go. Right. So what if you did that? And then what if you held them accountable? Maybe you even do a virtual class a week with them to keep them on track. Right. There's so many things you can do with a high ticket offer, no matter what it is that you offer. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is you need to market and sell this baby, right? So you need to think about who's your target audience. I'm thinking of another person I'm working with right now who's like, all right, you think there's people that'll buy this? I do. There's people, her audience is women. She lives in an area of the country where there's women that have money, and what they will pay for what she does. And the beautiful thing about the high ticket offer, like going back to my client Claire, which went from 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000. If her goal if her income goal is $250,000 a year, she only has to sell one of those a month, right? So it's not like you need to find 10 of these people. If you've got a $20,000 offer and you want $250,000 a year, you just need to find one a month. And I promise you, there is a market for that, right? There's a market for that. Obviously, I think LinkedIn and PR strategies is where we make that happen. The reason that we incorporate PR is because as you are, especially if this next chapter looks different than your last chapters, you might not have the testimonials, you might not have the credibility that goes along with somebody wanting to give you their credit card for $10,000. So being featured in newspapers and magazines and interviewed on podcasts and things like that, you borrow the credibility of the publication, and that helps give you that credibility so that people will see you as worthy of their investment, right? So that's exactly what we teach in our She's Linked Up Accelerator program. We have a self-mastery version of this as well now. And we teach you the marketing strategies to magnetize, right? It's not LinkedIn strategies where it's like spam your network. Like, that is never anything you're going to hear from me. It's a magnetic strategy that attracts those people to you, right? And helps you effectively market this so that you've got the exact right people landing in your lap. landing in your lap. And then, of course, you have to have sales conversations about this. Very rarely is somebody throwing you their credit card for 20 grand without a sales conversation, right? So there's a sales conversation that needs to happen to go along with to get that contract signed, right? To get that contract signed. So you want to have high value sales conversation. And these are the kinds of things that lead to those conversions and those contracts without feeling salesy, without any like sales tactics or anything like that. It's truly just about having a conversation to see if it's a fit and to custom design something that's going to help them get that transformation that we talked about earlier so that they're achieving the goals that they want to achieve. And you're there to guide them and help them. When you're doing this, can you see now how when you do this, you're showing up at a higher level and you can more quickly achieve your financial goals, which will more quickly get you out of wherever you are now and into wherever you want to be? Do you see how this can happen with a high ticket offer? It is the key to doing this. Without this, it's so much harder and it takes not even twice as long, maybe 10 times as long. All right. So here's the thing as we're doing this, right? I'm sitting here saying, and you've never done this before, and I want you to sell this for $10,000, right? And you're probably thinking, you've lost your mind, Karen. How do I do that? A lot of it is up here. A lot of it is up here. We have imposter syndrome. The most common hurdles are thinking that we are not worthy of it. And I know you were not born yesterday. You're probably not a college graduate, just recently graduated college and listening to the show. Most of the people that watch this show are people that have been around for a while and have a skill, right? All we're doing is reimagining that skill for the next chapter with some higher ticket offers so you can more quickly get to those income levels, right? So there's mindset shifts that have to happen. And all the work that I do in our She's Linked Up Accelerator program, there's a big mindset component. We kick off every single week. We start the week off on Mondays with a Mindset Monday call where we're working to shift your mindset a little bit so that you're stepping into this new chapter confidently and like the CEO and feeling really good about yourself. If you've taken our quiz, our assessment, if you go to KarenYankovich.com, all over the website is links to the assessment, the LinkedIn quiz. One of the things you'll get with your results is an empowerment visualization. I want you to feel empowered. That's how you step into this new chapter with this empowered feeling. And it comes from those visualizations. Well, the visualizations help you with that, like shift your energy and shift your vibe into the place that's going to help you have the kind of success that's there for you. Right. But most of our blocks are here, 100%. Most of them are here. So just know that you do not have to do this yourself. Right. Whether you want to talk, whether we want our help or whether you've got help from somebody else, maybe you've got some mastermind people or some entrepreneur friends that you work with. Don't do this alone. Don't do this alone. Get support and get support from people that understand it, right? Like sometimes, our friends or our family, they love us and they want the best for us, but they don't get it when we say a 7-figure business is in our future. They're like, what? Right? Like they don't understand it. You need to surround yourself with the kinds of people that understand your big goals and have the same big goals, right? And that's how you start to shift this. And again, I can't think of a single person. I'm trying to think of it right now, right? So it's probably wouldn't come to me that quickly anyway, but I can't think of a single person that I can think of that has the kind of success that I want for my business in my life that does it alone. It does it without a coach or does it without a team, right? You need support. You need support. And this mindset and this people around you are the ones that are going to be like, yes, you can do this. You can do this. You can have these $5,000 sales, these $10,000 sales, these $20,000 sales. You can do this. Okay. Like I said, it's the very first thing we do when I start to work with you on any level is create your high ticket offer, because that, to me, that the work you do on LinkedIn is not designed to get people to buy one pen at a time. The work the strategies that we teach are designed to help you land the big, fat, juicy clients, right? So let's just recap this for a second here. First of all, just remember that if you want your next chapter to look different than your last chapter, then we have to do something differently, right? So I believe that the fastest way to do that is high ticket offers. All right. And a high ticket offer is not just about raising your prices, although it could be. I want you to double the highest price thing you have and just think about how amazing you could make that offer if you had all that extra budget to do that. And remember that you don't have to have as many sales and contracts in a month to hit your income goals if you have those higher ticket offers. And the best part of all of this, when you have that extra cash coming in, you can pay people to do all the crazy things you think you should be doing. Changes to your website, 60,000 social media posts, right? All the things, sending out your emails every week, right? You can pay people to do that if you start thinking, like I like to call it flipping the funnel, thinking about the biggest ticket opportunities first, and then paying people to help you build your audience so that you can sell some of the lower ticket stuff. Right. So you have to craft your offer. You have to get clear on, what your value is, how you're going to package it, what the price is going to be. And then you have to market and sell it, right? You have to market it and sell it. Again, I know this can happen for you. It happens for all of our students in our She's Linked Up Accelerator program, and it can happen for you, but you have to shift your mindset to be open to this and to allow for this to come into your world. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because honestly, like I said, it is one of my most favorite topics to talk about. It is my favorite thing to do. As a matter of fact, whenever I talk to my team or we're making changes to the program, whatever, they're like, oh no, you have to do that call and we're always driving our students back to listen to the replay of that call because it helps you remember what's possible. Right? It helps you remember what's possible. So if you want to know what it looks like to get some help with your high ticket offer, best way to do that is grab a spot on our calendar at KarenYankovich.com/call. These are calls that we're there to support you, right? I mean, our community starts with you listening to the show, right? If you want to know what it looks like to get some help, grab a spot on our calendar. These calls are they're just truly getting to know you, getting to know your goals. And then if it's something we think we can help you with, we'll tell you what that looks like. But we are truly looking for perfect fits. And if you're a perfect fit, we'll tell you that, right? If we don't think you're a perfect fit, we're still going to give you a ton of value. We're still going to give you lots of things that you can do to take action on. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to change if you don't book that call. So go to KarenYankovich.com/call. I would love to see your name on the calendar. Check out the show notes. There's links to all the things I talked about here today. There's also a link for SpeakPipe where you can leave me an audio message. I love your audio messages. I respond personally to every single one of them. It makes me feel like this is a little bit less me talking at you and more me talking with you. So I love, love, love that. If you got some value out of this show, I also would be so grateful if you took a quick screenshot of this, shared it on social media, whether you're listening to it, wherever you're listening to it. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss an episode. If you're listening to it on a podcast player, make sure that you follow the show and your player of choice so that you don't miss an episode. And then take a screenshot, share it on social media. Make sure you tag me so that I see it, because then I can share your post with my audience and we both get visibility that way, right? And that's how we start to lift each other up. That's how we start this beautiful collaborative experience of getting support, giving support, showing support, and building beautiful, abundant businesses. My goal is for there to be more wealthy women in the world. Wealthy women of influence change the world. Women with money can donate money, can vote, have more choices. And I know that what I talked about here on this show is the fastest way for that to happen for you. Okay. And that's how I contribute to the world, right? My contribution to the world is helping more women have more money. It starts at KarenYankovich.com/call. I'd love to see you there. And I will be back here again next week with another episode of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I will see you then.